Hey, Beachbody Champions page. Okay, my mouth just went really dry. Like I just got cotton mouth, feeling a little nervous. Talking to so many amazing people. And I wanted to say hi. My name's Sheppard, and I'm leading this evening's segment of Beyond Social Media. You guys, this is something that fills my cup to no end. I'm going to make sure my phone's on silent. And it is definitely part of segment. Ooh, let's turn this off. It is definitely part of how I've built my business in so many different ways. So give everyone a second to hop on and give a little bit of a background about me. I see a couple of you. I have it on here so I can see while I'm talking to you if you have questions or you want to chime in. So if you're on, where are you watching from? And how are you feeling today? Like, how are you feeling about this training? Have you plugged into the first couple nights? Are you taking a lot away? Has this been something that's been really helpful for you? I will tell you that I started coaching 5.5 years ago, and I cannot believe that the amount of time has flown by. It feels like a blink of an eye, and at the same time, it feels like this has been my life for so many chapters. Cheryl, Emily, JC, Stephanie, Madison, hey, let me know where you guys are watching from. Maybe let me know what time it is for you. It's 6 p.m. here in Oregon, which is where I'm sitting in my dining room. And how cool is it that I get to talk to you all over the country and even world from this beautiful little Zoom account. And I see you guys. Okay, perfect. So I started coaching 5.5 years ago, and you guys, I was working full time with I had 3 jobs. I was working like 80 to 90 hours a week. So I didn't have a lot of time. I didn't have any experience on social media. I was a school counselor. I was a waitress nights and weekends, and then I taught kids yoga. And so to be honest, the allure for this business for me was that I could do it online, that I could use social media and fit it in the little mini pockets of time that I had. And while at the same time, it was this beautiful community that I saw that I felt like I was craving and needing. And so it's kind of ironic that I'm talking on this topic and it's become something I'm so passionate about, because I also love social media. But I think it has to be a balance, you know? And so, awesome. Florida, Arkansas, Michigan. Okay, kind of late for some of you. My goal is I made notes just to stay really focused. And if you've got questions, just comment below I'll see the note, I'll see your comments, and I will make sure to weave that in. But I've got a lot I want to pack in because like I said, this is like my jam. But I'm going to start with some shared assumptions, okay, if that's fair, some shared agreements. And just because I don't want to create this culture where it's like people are interpreting this as like there's a good way and a bad way and there's a right way and a wrong way, because that's not what this is about. We have some core values that we share, that our focus, our mission, our heart is to help people, right? Is to help people live healthier and more fulfilling lives, to feel happier, to feel connected, to feel seen, to feel valued. That's a given. Okay, another given I feel like we have is that we own and recognize and embrace, hopefully to our soul, that Beachbody is the tools that we have. We use these amazing programs and nutritional tools and groups. Like these are the tools that we have in our tool belt to change lives with. It is the springboard with which we can do all of this, to reach our goals, to set big dreams, to cast that vision, and to help a lot of people. And I kind of touched on this, but another agreement that I want to agree on, and if you can say like, yes, I agree to these things, or yes, you're nodding your head, type below that you're nodding your head. But that there's not a right way or a wrong way or a good way or a bad way. While one way of building might be more like harmonistic with your soul and your heart, it doesn't mean you should negate building on social media. If social media is your jam, I would ask you to open your mind and your heart to getting out of your comfort zone there and showing up in real life too. I think it has to go like this. There has to be some symbiosis of building online and offline, okay? And so, you guys are cracking me up. And the last agreement or assumption, core value, is that you are not Beachbody. I love Beachbody. I mean, I know it's a cheesy expression. I believe Beachbody blue. I'm never going anywhere. But Beachbody is an extension of who I am and the purpose God put me on this planet for. It is not the sole purpose of my identity. It does not define me, but it is something I'm very proud about. I'm very proud to be representing. I'm really proud to link arms with. I'm really proud of the high caliber and quality of the work that we get to do for people. Okay, how it's changing people at their fundamental base level. But I want you to remember that too, that you are an extension. Beachbody is an extension of you. Okay, you are an extension of Beachbody at the same time, and it is a tool in your tool belt. But you walked through this on this planet for so long, being amazing and resilient and strong and capable, and all of that is what makes you a dynamic coach, while embracing and using these tools. So are those great assumptions, right? Before we move forward, can I say we agree that we're all on that same understanding? Because if so, then I can just dig right in, and I don't really have to feel like I have to choose my words really carefully or walk on eggshells, because I don't want anyone to think that any differently. Okay. And I say, and this training is so cool because we're talking about beyond social media, but really, you guys, we have to have both. So like I said, when I first started coaching, I didn't have time. I needed another job. I needed something that filled my soul cup a little bit more. School counseling was great, but if you've ever know anyone who's worked in public education or worked in public education yourself, doesn't pay a lot, and honestly, it will suck your soul dry. My health was out of balance. My life was out of balance, off kilter. And so I knew I needed something that kept me accountable to my own health. I had gotten my spin cert and my yoga cert and my kids yoga cert and my pre and postnatal cert. I collected these things, but I honestly made more money waiting tables hourly than I even did as a counselor, which I had my master's degree. I have my master's degree in. And so I couldn't afford literally to go and teach a yoga class or teach a spin class, knowing how much I just didn't have the time in my days. Ultimately we run out of hours in the day, right? And so I needed a job that I could do from my bed, on the couch, on my phone, on my laptop, in the parking lot at Starbucks, in between jobs, that I could fit in on a lunch hour, or I could do from at 1 a.m., after I got home from a double shift that day. I needed that. And I will never, ever, cut my nose off to spite my face. I will always embrace and love and use social media. But it got to a point where after I'd, matched my counseling salary about 10 months into coaching, and I decided to go full time with this. I don't have kids, children. I have a lot of four-legged children, and now I have a rescue zoo. And that's part of my story now, or my husband and I do. But where I started this business not having any time, then suddenly I had so much time, and it's a good problem to have, but I found myself being a little bit counterproductive and also becoming this hermit, where initially I was around people all the time, and I'm an introvert. So I never had time to renew my energy source, which is that definition of introvert extrovert, is how do you replenish that energy? And so when I was working 90 hours a week, I didn't have a chance to be alone to replenish the energy. So this helped me carve that out. But after a while, I was, more and more, hidden from the world, because I was working so much and I had these big goals and I was crushing these big goals, and my team's 5-time elite. And that took a lot of work, and that took a lot of sacrifice in the first couple of years. So, and I just knew I could reach more people online then, and I moved to a new city in San Diego, and I didn't know a lot of people. So it was easier to kind of hide on social media. But what that did is it left me off balance once again. I needed that inner life social connection. I needed the friends. I needed to go belly to belly and eyeball to eyeball with people and feed off of their energy source too. And there's going to be seasons of everyone's lives where you're going to need one or the other, right? Whether you're traveling a lot, or you have illness or sickness, or just a lot of work or life changes, whatever. And so that's why they have to mutually exist. I want to be really clear that we can use them together, and why. Okay, I'm going to pause for a second. So many fur babies, Jen. 9. You guys have 9 rescue animals, and they are locked away right now in rooms so that they don't, because like when one starts barking, they all start barking and they're crazy. And I didn't want to do that to your ears. But I'm going to show you a couple slides really fast. So I did a version of this talk at the Portland, Oregon Super Saturday in January. And I did a little survey, kind of similar to what I asked you guys some questions in here earlier. And so many of you responded to a couple of them. And we're going to touch and circle back to those. But I wanted to show you what I had asked them. Let me go back to the right slide before I screen share, because I think that it shows a really good visual. I'm a visual learner. I need to see things to soak it in. I won't share slides the whole time, but so we're here for this, right? This is one of our shared assumptions, shared agreements, okay? And health, obesity, nutrition, fitness, looking good in that summer bikini, like we got that. But what I did was I polled, and Portland's got a really big Super Saturday, so I polled probably like 500 plus people who responded to this survey that I did. And I asked one of the questions, like, why are you grateful to be here? So I'm gonna ask you guys, okay, spoiler alert, you're gonna see some options here, but if you had to pick one of these words, why are you grateful to be here? Be here as in like be a coach, be part of the team that you're on, be part of the community as a team Beachbody as a whole, right? Go ahead and drop that in the comment. I'll give a pause for a second while you drop your word below. The words that people came up with that they had to choose from was income, health, purpose, freedom, growth, family, self-love, and community. Okay. So this is what I asked. What I have, knowing why I was asking these things. I just asked. And look, what I want to show you is the biggest piece of this pie. Is community and self-love. Okay, more than health and fitness and nutrition. Okay, these are some of the examples that they said. Oops. To show people life isn't perfect, no matter what they're worth, but no matter what they're worth this journey. Okay, the ability to help others, freedom, flexibility, opportunity to travel, the community and friendships. Hopefully one day my financial freedom, the people I've met. Like these are amazing things, you guys. This isn't, but how many people didn't say health and fitness, which isn't a bad thing. That's not a judgment. I just think it's so interesting to consider that because we have more than to offer the world than just, not just as in a minimizing just, but then solely, I should say, health and fitness. Okay. And so remember that. And that's where I want to open your minds tonight and help you think on a bigger scope of you are beyond a health and fitness and nutrition coach. You are offering community, purpose, self-love, freedom to people. Okay, but at the same time, you can say that, but are you walking the walk or just talking the talk? Because the same group of people I polled, and I said, when was the last time you were in a room with another Beachbody coach that wasn't your spouse or family member that you've signed up to be a coach? Okay. Or it wasn't a Super Saturday event. And the majority of people hadn't been in another room, and this was for the January Super Saturday, so the dates are a little off. They hadn't been in another room with another coach since the October Super Saturday. Many had said over a year ago. Some had said summit in the last Super Saturday, okay, or the April Super. So one time in the last year, or never. 1/5 said never. And you guys, if I'm looking at the question, the folks that responded earlier to my questionnaire, the vast majority said never. Or you said like your husband or your mom who's also a coach. And I'm going to say that doesn't count because that's not really what I'm talking about. So look at that. Prior to the last Super Saturday, or since the last Super Saturday, so the vast majority have not been making that effort. And so if we're looking at, this is a word cloud based off of what everyone said that they're most grateful for this business. And like the bigger the word clouds were, because the bigger the word, the more often that word was used. So if you're off showing freedom, inspiration, community, and that's what you're most grateful for, how often are you showing up with those things online or creating that reality in real life? Okay. And and if not, then how inspiring do you think that is to people watching you? Like if they're craving what you're craving. They're craving what you're most grateful for. They're craving what you have. But if you're not showing up doing those things and being really loud about it and leading by example, by making it being intentional with having that in your life, then they're never going to know that they can have that too, and very likely be robbing their fate by just holding that captive in your own mouth, by not like showcasing it and shouting from the rooftops that you have this to give. Maybe you're showing up every day in health and fitness and nutrition and eating well and your portion control and your mindset. That's great. That's a non-negotiable. And then what? And now what? Okay. So when I asked you guys, when was the last time, aside from a Super Saturday, you'd ever been in the same room or done something with a coach? Most people said never. So what does that tell me, do you think, about the level of seriousness that you have to create community and freedom and purpose and connection in life? Right? So that's where I'm going to call you out, and with love, and say, put on those big boy britches and take ownership of it. Don't wait for someone to invite you. Okay? Don't wait for it to be spoon-fed to you. Like, leadership is earned, and that starts right now. So, and this is key, because this is the gift that truly changes lives. You know, so the counselor brain in me, I was a counselor for 12 years. And like, we have this base hierarchy of basic needs: food, shelter, water, security, health, like, yes. And then one of our next basic needs is community and a place to belong. And so I ask you, I'm going to pause again. Like, I ask you, how disconnected did you feel before you found Beachbody? Did anyone that's watching struggle with friendships, authentic friendships, feeling like you had a tribe or a community that was healthy and supportive? Aside, maybe, like for me, I had work. Neither of those groups I worked 3 places, but those 2 primary jobs, like, they weren't super healthy. They were kind of toxic. And honestly, like, they weren't friends that I would have picked to like go hang out with in real life. They were just the people I ended up working with. I didn't choose those people, right? And as we get older, you know, as we're when we're younger, we have team sports, we have church groups, we have community groups, we have clubs, we have sororities, we have whatever. We have so many things that we could possibly be plugged into, or even just tight-knit friend groups. And then as we get older, people move, have babies, get married, change jobs, injure themselves, stop playing those sports, stop doing those clubs, or we just kind of age out of it. And that leaves us feeling super disconnected and lonely, and like we lose that piece of ourselves that like we identify, we co-regulate with that community that we have. And so this is a basic need that we need to offer to others, that we get to offer to others. If I'm being totally honest, this is key, because if we're truly living our best lives, is this our best life? Like this all day long, every day? Like, I don't see people, I mean, I do this, but like, I'm not craving more of that. I'm craving the hugs and the laughter till you cry, and the memories being made, and the time, you know, like I want to know what a person's voice sounds like, and know what their nonverbals look like when I'm talking to them. And there's a lot we can do in Zoom and social media, but it goes beyond that. And we're relying on this tool that we know scientifically increases anxiety, increases depression, increases disconnection, okay? And makes us unhealthy in so many ways. And if we are health ambassadors, I believe, and this is my own personal soapbox, that we need to be also showing how to be healthy socially and emotionally and mentally as well. And this isn't a tool for that. Now, again, we're going back to that first agreement we made. There's not a right or wrong. I'm not bashing social media. It's a necessity, but that's where it all has to come together. And we have to be really intentional and careful and disciplined and consistent with creating that. Fair enough? Okay. Any questions? And yes, I think that we do have a lot of this. We create a lot of those needs. We can service a lot of those needs short term to an extent online. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm going to talk through a couple things that I do I'm going to break it into two halves. What I do with my team, okay, to show up in real life, and then things I do for myself, okay, because we're always in that phase one part of our business, and then we also have this team component of our business. So I'm going to start with what I do with my team, and I'm just going to share some ideas of examples of what I do and what I have done, because they're things that fill up my cup. So my number one rule for like, how do you decide what you're going to do with other coaches, and it doesn't have to be your downline team, it doesn't have to be your PS team. If you search like your city or your state for like Florida Beachbody coaches, or Portland, Oregon Beachbody coaches, or Seattle or Gold Coast, like whatever, you know, like there's Gold Coast is Australia, so just scratch that, I said that. But you know, like search on Facebook, there are Beachbody coach groups, or maybe you can even find someone here in the champions page. And there are coaches in real life near you. And that's why going to a Super Saturday is so key, to figure out who else is a coach in your town, because we're not in competition. It's community over competition, right? And so you can do these things with people from other teams, or just be really like, or just grow a team. It starts with one. And so what I usually suggest is like, pick one person that you know will show up, like maybe pick the time ahead of time, like say, hey, could you do a movie next Thursday at 7? All right, are you in? Like, then I know I'm not gonna be there alone. And then plan the event around that, or pick something that you're okay going to alone. And I know not everyone has the same comfort level like I do. I'm okay going to like a movie alone or eating alone. But either way, just pick it, follow through with it. Okay, that's the thing, is like plan it and execute it, even if you're the only one who shows up, or even if there's just one of you, but then go and recruit everyone to do with you. But things that I do with my team necessarily, because I have a bigger team, but in the past I've done some of these things with coaches from other teams. When I first started 5.5 years ago, I didn't have a team, but there were great other coaches in Portland, like some of my upline team, and then just other random coaches in Portland, and we would meet up and do all sorts of fun stuff. But the things that I do currently, because I make sure I do at least one thing a week, usually it's 2 or 3, but at least one thing a week in real life out of my home, where I'm like having to go. I don't necessarily get dressed up. Most of the time I'm in workout clothes, but I have to go leave my house to do it. So dog park. Okay, and again, like find the things that you are excited about. A lot of these things you won't be excited about, so I'm gonna do this to jog your memory, and then you go figure out what's gonna get like float your boat and get you excited. So dog park dates, okay, bunny brunch, and bunny brunch is just what I call going to brunch and eating according to 2B Mindset played it. Because who doesn't love brunch? And I wanted an excuse to go to brunch with my teammates. We do a work sesh Wednesday. Sometimes it's work sesh Thursday, but basically we just go have lunch. I do a lot of things centered around food because I like to eat. But we go and bring our laptops, bring our notebooks, chat. Sometimes if they're my downline coaches, that'll be a great time to for them to ask questions, or we'll go computer to computer. I'll show the back office, or we just spend the time inviting, or just shooting the breeze and talking about business as a whole. We do volunteering once a month. My team does a volunteering day for Habitat for Humanity, and they know us now. They know who we are, and they are like, oh, it's the Beachbody girls. We do workout parties, which is just come over and work out with me, but we call them workout parties. We have had margarita night. We'll go to concerts together. We just recently went to an expo and had a booth at an expo. We have a virtual book club that we do across the entire country, across the entire team. But then we do a local book club. So we all pick a night or a weekend that we're going to do our book club meetup. And then locally, we everyone's meeting across the country locally for book club, personal development books. Normal fit clubs, normal shake and shares, which you've heard about this week. Sometimes we'll just go to dinner out. We'll have a movie night. As an example, when Rachel Hollis's Rise Up movie came out, I think that's what it was called, and it was showing all across the country on the same night. We all got groups together and went and saw it on the same night in whatever town we lived in. We've had game nights, documentary nights, paint nights, created kickball, intramural kickball group teams and soccer teams, and done clothing swaps. It doesn't have to be necessarily anything fitness related. It's just something fun to bring people together and to get to know one another, build a really great bond and team culture. And I would love to hear what ideas you have. So share some ideas that might pop into your mind really quick, and sharing is caring, right? I'm sure you've got ideas that I would have never thought of either. But this is what I do locally. And the way then we invite prospects to join. So we've got our core group. Sometimes it's only team. And then a lot of times, though, it's an opportunity to invite prospects or discount coaches or clients to come join us too, so that they can kind of get an experience for themselves, what a great team we have and how much fun we have together and how much we genuinely like each other. And then when we're not local, okay, we are also very intentional about bringing the team together, and like outside of that too. Like we've gone to Vegas before. We have team retreats. When we have opportunities like Summit, we get a team house. I think this is the first year in 5 years that we don't have a team house at Summit. Or we room up together in hotels. We went to Disney in December to celebrate hitting 15-star, things like that, where we make sure we're being intentional and prioritizing that time together as well. We've done destination super Saturdays and so much more. And then we duplicate this, because everything in this business revolves around duplication, right? This is duplicated in our downline by, I'll use the event option in our team page. And so they know book club is the first Thursday of May. And so anytime in that week, before or after that Thursday, people know they can target their book club for that night. We have next weekend actually for us is that coach night out, coach weekend out, where I kind of just create an event in the team page, and I'm challenging everyone in the team to go plan something big or small. It can be an hour, it could be a whole day. It doesn't matter. Go plan something where you're bringing the coaches on our team together. And as your team grows and is bigger, it's really cool because say I have a couple leaders in the Raleigh area, and then I have a couple downline coaches in the Raleigh area. And so even though I don't get to spend time with those PS coaches, I can trust that they're under this great umbrella of a couple of my diamonds and star diamonds around the country. And then we can kind of hug everyone in tight, even though we're in different pockets and corners of the country. So hopefully that makes sense. And then the most important thing about this, you guys, is to post it up. You have to post it on social media and be telling that story frequently. We use an app called Photo Circle. Anytime we have a big event, like our Success Club trip or retreats or Summit, whatever, we make a photo circle. So then everyone just downloads their entire camera roll from that event into the photo circle. And we're constantly pulling pictures out of those, telling stories around them, posting about our team. You'll see, if you follow anyone on our team, you'll see pictures of us as a group together all the time, because we genuinely have fun and we love each other, but also because it's showing people hey, it's not just us on a Zoom call, right? We actually get to go, how we have real life friends too, because people really do need and crave that. Okay, so for my own cup, let me pause for a second, look at these questions. I saw a couple of questions. So, and that's great that a lot of you already have that. Bowling, Emily, I love that idea. Camping trips, yes, these are all great. I guarantee that there are coaches near you, you guys. You just got to go look for them. Nobody's going to kind of hit you over stick with them. You got to go find them. So if you are with another coach, then, I would say don't look at this as a competition. If you've invited someone to an event, like a prospect or someone, then that's your person, and you just respect that, right? And nobody's going to go steal that prospect from you if it's not a coach on your team or something. And if someone is doing that, then that would be a report for compliance or something. But yeah, you just kind of that should be pretty straightforward. I think that was the only really question I saw on here, but I'll take a little scander here. Okay. So for my own cup, you guys, so when I moved back to Oregon, so I moved from Portland to San Diego, which is where I met my now husband. He took a job in Florida, and then we were there for a year, and we moved here to Central Oregon, and we moved out into the country, which was great. But then we immediately got hit with 8 feet of snow in the craziest winter ever. And I used that as an excuse to just be a hermit. And I got more and more hermited, and I just really leaned into online, and I felt really disconnected. I felt my health going down. I started gaining weight. I wasn't out and about. I didn't have these great friendships in real life anymore. And I felt the pain of that. And so and there's times when I need to take off my leader hat and just go do things for Jamie. Just go do things for me that make me happy, and also keep filling my own funnel where I'm not like, really responsible for anyone else's good time, just to go make friends like you would kind of in the old fashioned days. So, when looking at what to do and how to get involved, and I know it's hard when you're really busy, or you've got a lot of things going on like kids or work or whatever, but that's where you can just lean into the person you always were. Before you started coaching, you had things that made you, things that made you tick, things that lit your fire, okay, interests, hobbies, things about your personality. And so even if your if your pre-Beachbody life was crappy and you don't want to go back to the things you used to, maybe you've outgrown those things, maybe you were really into partying or drugs or drinking, or that old social scene that you are part of is really toxic and you've evolved away from that, then what are the things now you would like to try to do? Okay, and then go and find the people out there that are doing those things too. So a really easy way to do this is, like, I know a lot of people are doing like online trainings or learning how to do social media better, or take pictures, or find their voice, learn how to tell their story, or write better, or public speak. Like, you guys, there are opportunities in your town to go learn those things in real life most of the time, or in a nearby town. Like for public speaking, you can go to a Toastmasters meeting, or the local community college usually has like, our local community college even has an iPhone photography class, or a social media class, or, there's so many different, or even just go to a live gym class every once in a while and mix it up. There are networking groups. So these are some of the things that I do. Like, I went to a business class at our local community college just to learn more about business. So I felt like I had more knowledge in my brain and tools in my tool belt. I've joined local women's business networking groups, gotten involved in nonprofits, where I'll volunteer for them or reach out. I'm on the board of a nonprofit, a dog rescue now. I've helped with fundraisers where, like, local nonprofits that I'm volunteering for, they usually have, or charities, like they usually have fundraising events. So I'll volunteer at those fundraising events. There are a lot of great Facebook groups and communities that are women groups or men groups, and they're like doing fun things. Like, there's a bar in town that does trivia. There is another bar in town that does bingo every Sunday morning. There's church groups that do Bible study and all sorts of things. So go find the things that feel like they'd be something you would want, and go show up. Like, there's a gals group here that does like bunko once a month and bingo once a month, and just has really fun meetups. And that's a great way to go and meet new people. Keep your local funnel full and prospects, and go to like the local gym and go to classes, or plan stuff. Okay, like one of my local leaders and I would go paddleboarding in the summer usually once a week or once a month. We'll do a hike every week. There's a local women's mountain biking club, like things that aren't necessarily like I didn't know how to do, like, but things I wanted to learn how to do. Or planned cookie swaps at Christmas, hosting a murder mystery party, going to people's birthday parties and events when they invite you. So just notice that none of these things are really fitness and nutrition. They're just going and meeting other women that are liking and into the same things as I like and am into. And therefore, I'm keeping that list growing, keeping my own cup full, and continuing to network and make connection points. My mantra is be the one who shows up. Like, I'm living this great life on social media, I realized one day, but I'm like hermiting at home, and I'm not actually like, someone watched what I was really doing and like how disconnected I was. Like, I didn't feel proud about that, and I wanted to change that. And so now my mantra is to be the one who shows up. So, and that might look differently for you. If you've got kids, there's, Mommy and Me, to Birth to 3 groups, to Stroller Strides, which is, I know, is a fitness company, but like there's people hosting home parties or play dates. Like, organize and plan your own, or just show up to the ones that you're invited to. Some ways to find those things. You guys are posted on Craigslist. If you search under events, Okay, you're gonna see Facebook does a great job filtering local events to you. So search under the Facebook tab for events. Under Instagram, search for local hashtags. Like figure out the hashtags that are existing in your town and like search for stuff going on in those hashtags. Go to meetup.com or find those local Facebook groups. Like you can type in, you go to on your computer or even on your phone, you can type in your town name. Mine is Bend, Oregon. You can type in Bend and hit groups, and all these groups, you could put Bend Mom, Bend Fitness, Bend, use some keyword searching and filter by groups, and you're going to find a lot of community groups that might be local to you. If there are none that exist, I would say find the ones that exist first. But if there are none that exist, then create one. I created a Bend dog group for dog owners. And there's so many great things, like figure out what your niche is, right? It's a whole different training. And then just go for it. And then to turn all that into some nuggets, how do you act when you're doing those things? This isn't your time to spam people and to sell people and to like be kind of shoving Beachbody down their throat. This is a chance to show who you are, the kind of person you are, like build some trust, build some connection. And so some simple things like look good. Be in shape. Don't dress like a slob. Like don't dress to the nines, but dress like you feel good about yourself. Let that reflect in how you present yourself. Again, I'm constantly in workout clothes, so it doesn't mean you have to dress up, but just dress good, look good, so that you feel good and that you can hold yourself with confidence. Look people in the eye, smile, make eye contact, which is the same thing. Look people in the eye, get names, okay? Make new friends. Make one new friend, make that your goal, or make 10 new friends your goal. Get them on social media. Before you lose points of contact with them, friend them and get them on Instagram or Facebook, and then leave it there. Make sure you then follow them, and remember to follow up with and track them and give them love on their social media and become friendly online too. So you're transferring that in person into that social media world. Do wear and share. If you've got your Energize, people ask me all the time, like, what's that yellow stuff you're always drinking? Because I kind of live off of it. Or with where if you've got Beachbody clothes or sweatshirts, you can order them from the apparel part of our our shop. And like, I can't tell you how many times I've traveled with wear and share and people are like, oh, Insanity. I'm like, yeah, I'm a coach for Insanity. And then they're like, oh, I'd love to hear more about that. Or I've always wanted to do that. Or I did that once. And you can make some starting point conversations there. But it can even do a little bit of advertising for you so that all you have to focus on is being you and is becoming a friend and planting some seeds. Like if someone's like, oh, what do you do? Which is a normal question people ask. You can say like, oh, I'm an online health and fitness coach, or I'm a coach with Team Beachbody. And they're like, oh, that sounds cool. And you say, absolutely, it is really cool. I absolutely love it. That's your chance to affirm with confidence and excitement. And then let that seed marinate and then move on. Ask them about what they do. Start building that connection rather than the opportunity to sell them on a challenge group. Okay. Just in real life, be the person you'd want to be friends with and follow online. So give them, and then trust that if you're doing your job on social media, then it'll all come together, whether it's in referrals or them wanting to join you themselves. Oftentimes these local connections that I make, they bring it up. I don't even really bring it up. They'll bring it up because I'm doing my due diligence online, showing the community, posting about these live events, being a leader to my team on and online as well, doing call to actions, inviting to boot camps, inviting to groups, things like that. Okay. And then because I've then taken those in real life contacts and made sure they're my Facebook friends, they're going to see that as well. And continuing to show up for them online and in real life. Okay. And then just remember that if you don't post about it, it didn't happen. And I know that's silly, but I want you to own that, embrace that and act as if that's truly, truly, truly it. Because if you're wanting to marry these two together, you have to bring it back to social media and tell a story with it. What is it like to be able to do these things now? Maybe you have more time, or maybe you are having more fun because you're not as stressed anymore. You're more fit, so you have more energy to do things you used to not be able to do. Or you've got real great, amazing, authentic, deep friendships for the first time in your life. Whatever your story is, use these in real life opportunities to tell that story at a deeper level on social media and bring that the old you to the new you. And then because people are going to read that, they're going to see that, they're going to be like, I need that too. Okay. And you guys, this has been such a fun thing. It's opened so many doors, and it's been something I've been so consistent with for years. And now I'm kind of going to a different level. Like I'm hosting a workshop on Friday night here in town for like social media for your message, where I'm teaching people about Instagram. None of them are coaches. Actually, well, a couple of coaches from our team, but like most of these people are entrepreneurs and other entrepreneurs or small business owners or aspiring influencers in other areas. And I'm able to teach all the stuff I already know because I've done it for 5 years and teach them. Or I'm taking my love for yoga and wellness and adventure and travel, and I'm leading a wellness adventure / yoga retreat in Hawaii next month in 3 weeks. And this is my second time doing that. Or I've gotten to help run the local TED Talks. And these are things that are maybe higher level than when I started. I wasn't quite ready for that responsibility. I needed to give my time to this business to grow for a couple years. But I knew big picture, I wanted to keep growing and expanding and showing up in real life as the person that I want to be and how I want people to be, respect and proud of me on so many different levels. So that's all I got. I know it was a lot, but who has questions? Yes, be the one that shows up. So here's a fun story. Like I have some local girlfriends who aren't coaches, aren't customers, and they might not ever be coaches or customers, and that's fine. But they always come to book club. They'll always come hiking. They'll always come to book brunch. Like they're always the ones that show up for me. And then when they have stuff, I will be busy or I'll be working or I'll have a team call or something. And I realized like the other night when I was about to bail again, I was like, I am not being the kind of friend that they are to me. I'm going to be the one who shows up and like holding yourself to that higher standard. And I went at a great time. I made some new friends. I got some new Facebook contacts, like new people in my funnel, right? So it's not always easy. It often takes extra work. It's sometimes a little bit more scary because you're putting yourself out there in real life and not able to hide behind the computer screen, but it's so worth it. And it all comes back together. And I promise it'll keep your soul tank full, your health in check. And it's so fun. And you'll see your business grow as a result too. Okay. Now I'm going to end this with a call to action for y'all. I want you to plan something before the month is out. And I recognize that is like, I don't know, 6 days away. Plan something to get together. I don't know what the weather's like in your area, but maybe you gave some really great, I loved in your answers, you told me all the nonprofits and charities that you're passionate about. So maybe go find a local extension of that, an organization that works with that population in your town. Facebook message them, email them, contact them from their website and ask for what their volunteer needs are. Okay. Maybe they don't have volunteer needs, but they need donations of some sort. You can organize a drive of some sort of donations. Plan something with maybe one other local coach. Go to our team is doing Brene Brown just came out with her documentary on Netflix, which is super cool. So we're going to do a watch party, but go plan something. That's my assignment for you. And then go find and comment below what you're going to do, but then also comment below with what nonprofit or organization, or it doesn't have to be a nonprofit. Maybe it's a community center or a sports team for kids or whatever is in your passion zone. Okay. And then go reach out and at least ask. You never know until you ask, right? If there's an opportunity to get involved, or go find an event and RSVP to it. Maybe it's a book talk. Maybe it's a First Friday event. Maybe it's a concert. Like go show up in real life and do something, and just be really proud and excited about what we get to do every day and like bring it all together. So if everyone is cool with that as task, then great. I'll be looking for you to comment below and tell me what you come up with. Fair enough? Okay. I am going to sign off. I will actually, let me make sure that I lost you guys. I'm going to make sure. Oh, and I'm gonna say, you guys, I have like 45 spots left for friends on Facebook. I'm almost at that 5,000 cap. So thank you for the friend requests. I got a lot of them today. And I am gonna like just say, please follow me. I don't have the space to have coach friends. I have to leave those for my future team. But please follow me. And I'm sorry, it's not personal if I don't accept your friend request. So I always feel so bad about that. But that's why. I hope you understand. And no questions? I'm glad you like the ideas, you guys. I want to hear your ideas because I know my story and my life and my interests are so different than yours. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, have a good night. Keep those ideas coming below.